Welcome in to the Subconscious Mind Mastery Podcast. We're continuing our Sunday focus on higher spirituality topics, how we can truly take our lives this coming week to higher ground, how we can live our highest timeline. I know you've been enjoying these. Thank you for the great feedback. And we're going to tackle a topic today that plagued me for about 30 years. I'm not kidding. This was something that was constantly almost a thorn in my side. It was a nemesis. It was this nagging question of inferiority that I never was able to reconcile and put together in my mind because of how my life started out. Now it's something that I live nearly every day. And the question is, this grappling internal conflict, if you will, is how can I be of greater service to God today? Now, I just used God. Let's choose whatever word you want. How can I be of service to my higher self today? How can I be of service to greatest source today? How can I be of greater service to that which is bigger than me today? However you want to frame it up. I mean, I get it. For many, the term God has an aura about it that isn't not ready for yet. Maybe you come back to that concept like I am exploring my way back. I don't know where I am on the journey back, but I'm opening up to just realizing that there is this, let me bring the sky in as an analogy. There is this galaxy or this universe that is way bigger than our own. I mean, we think that this solar system is pretty big until we start to think of the context of, how much bigger there is beyond it. And then you realize, the same is true in our life too, isn't it? So when we think we're a pretty big deal, just shrink it down until you realize I am part of an ecosystem of spirituality and physicality. And what this is a question of, how can I be of greater service? How can my life reflect more for this bigger universe than for myself? Now, the reason this was a conflict for me all of these years was because I was started out to go to seminary. I went to a Bible school, Bible college, because I was not allowed to go to a major university. From there, I was going to go to seminary, and from there, I was going to go pastor churches. All I can say again and again and again is thank God that didn't happen. I was trying to fulfill somebody else's call, not my own. But because of that, and because I pivoted from a path headed toward spiritual service, let's say, or a spiritual career, or a religious career, and then I swung that to a pure secular career of broadcast media and then broadcast production and television production and etc., that I found myself adopting an either-or perspective. Well, okay, I'm not going down that path anymore. Therefore, my life is more of service to the career and to the job and to the demands than it is to what it would have been otherwise, which is God. So the way my mind processed it was, well, if you can't have this, then you can't have it over here either. And let's think about this in all fairness now, because this is how most of us dwell. These are the demands and focus of life. When do I have to have that project finished at work? I need a pack for the trip. Shoot, the bills are due. Groceries. Groceries. I guess I'd better check the fridge, see what I need. Okay, now the kids, the school projects, their events, shuttling them here and there, their deadlines, their practices, their recitals. What about me? I mean, that's modern life, right? And the thing is if you don't do all of that, you're considered not normal. Now, where I am sitting up here in the trees, that sounds exhausting. Bless your all's hearts. But I know that's it. I mean, I'm working my own brutal pace, but it's only pales in comparison to what you guys, most of you, are dealing with, raising your families and doing your thing. I mean, you get up before dawn, hopefully listen to the Fun Astrology podcast while you're at the gym so that you can get a few minutes of personal time, and then the whole thing kicks in again when the sun comes up. And you do that over and over and over for 20 years. And then you look back and you think of Bob Seger's words. 20 years, where'd they go? 20 years, I don't know. And that's how our society is geared. I mean, we can't do without going to the store or paying the bills or running the kids around. That's part of our responsibility. But where is God in all of that? Or above that, where is our focus in all of that? How much of all of that takes us off our spiritual game just by design? Or is it possible that we can weave all of that into and around the question of how could I also be of greatest service to God today, right now, this moment, in this upcoming situation? Given all that has to happen, where's my attention? Where's my focus? And this is an individual question. I'm not advocating a point here. I'm just saying, what would that look like for you? If you had asked my 35-year-old self this, I would have probably come up with some lame answer about, you can do both. But I wasn't. That was just the right answer to the church folks. But looking at your own situation, and we're going to pause here with some music just to think about this coming up, that what if the higher focus, or at least a parallel focus, was how can I live my life in some kind of dedication to something higher than myself? Even if that means maybe just a smile to somebody who is grumpy and they're not on that same level of consciousness that you are. Just showing them love and compassion without any attaching to their mood. Like I can share a smile with you, but I don't have to share your mood. Or letting that aggressive driver cut in front of you and just brush it off. And just remind yourself with a wink in your rearview mirror real quickly that, thank God I'm not like that anymore. Don't spit your coffee. Or maybe you use a certain situation as a teaching moment with your kids. Instead of worrying about all the rushing and bustle, you stop. We're going to be late, but I'm going to get this in because I can't let this one go by. And you show your child the option of a higher path and how to choose and let them make a decision. Now what's more important? You start to weave both together. So the question for today is really, is this something that you're interested in trying to take on? Is it an intriguing question? Another question would be, where are you on the process? You might say, hey, I'm doing pretty good at this. Well, then always on our growth. You talk about peeling the onion, that's getting down to more lower levels. But if you're doing good or you're doing well in this, then ask yourself the opposite question. How can I take it up a notch? How would this integrate into your schedule? How would it work with your family, your job, your personal life? Back to our twofold question there. How can I take it up a level, or what would I need to change in order to get it started? And what would you need to release or let go of in order to move this higher in your life's priorities? In other words, what's in your way? Maybe even what wasn't in your way in the past but has snuck into your way now. That back door got left open and whoosh. And the other thing that comes to mind too is motivation. Why would you want to do this? Why not just go after the bucks and the valedictorian and the scholarship and the trophies and the pretty wife or the rich husband, the bigger house, the trips, all the stuff? What does it take to make us happy? When I met Fred Dodson in Florida to prep a couple of days before the recent Levels of Energy seminar, he was visibly taken back by my energy. We hadn't seen each other in person for a year, and that year was the year that I've spent here in the mountains of western North Carolina. And I'm pretty in tune to old Fred, and I saw him physically react, analyzing my energy. And what he was saying by his body language reaction was, this is the highest you've ever been. And between my last two moves, which you can't keep up with, but between the last two, I got rid of another about half of my stuff. I consolidated down to what I need to do my life now. I live in a small place on the side of a mountain, and my energy was reflecting to my mentor that I'm doing the best I ever have in my life. And I had a secular job during that year. I was doing a radio show in the Dallas-Fort Worth market. But even through that, I was trying to ask these kinds of questions. How can people who listen to this show find something higher Same thing I do with the podcast, just that was secular, this is spiritual. But the point is, by choice, I have downsized, I have less, I'm not pursuing all that stuff anymore, and these doors have opened for me. This is my path. See, the thing next is for you to find yours, your areas of higher service. So let's do that now. You've got the idea. Now, as you exhale, and let's do an Om together. So let's do a big exhale and then an Om. To settle into your thoughts. Is this something you want? How can it fit? What's in the way? How can you take it up at least a notch or more? Ask for help. See you next week. Enjoy the music and enjoy the journey.